Hi, I'm Jackie and this is my handmade home in Brooklyn, New York. I'm an artist. I do illustrations for kids' books, and then I also run an organization called Camp Remember, which is a series of summer camps. We help kids remember that it's cool to be yourself. And then I work with Medi Club as a facilitator, which is a monthly meetup of a larger organization called The Big Quiet, which are mass meditations in iconic places all over the United States. This apartment is less than 400 square feet because I lived in a 500 square foot one and this one's not even close. The first thing I did was I painted the entire apartment white because I wanted it to be that like chic Brooklyn look. The more that I stepped into that, I realized how much it wasn't me. And so the first thing that I did was say F it and go buy a bucket of orange paint and paint my cabinets bright orange. Then from there it was like, let's do it. Okay, so this painting is by my dad, Mike Cantwell. He did a series of these big heads like this in the 80s, and this is just one of my favorite paintings growing up. It was in our house, and it reminds me of home, and it's also where I got all the colors for the apartment. The wall color is me trying to match the peach in my dad's painting. So I didn't get it just right, but I feel like it really plays off of it nicely. The couch is really one of my favorite things here. It is a custom couch made from a guy that I found on Etsy who's making these things out in LA. Do I do a white couch? Do I do black? I don't know. And then there was a little bit of a pink happening in the painting. And velvet's amazing, so why not? And then this big mirror, I got it custom cut to fit that wall. So that's a cool way to open up smaller spaces too, which is why I have so many mirrors in here, because it kind of makes it seem like it's a little bit more vast than it really is. The dining area I wanted to kind of try to make separate from the rest of the house, like give it its own feel. So lighting I've found has been really helpful. That's why there's like a little lamp next to the couch, and then I have like the drop over lamp over the table. And this table is also from my family. My grandpa made it, so it feels good to have a piece like that that's like just been through so much and had so many beautiful meals and conversations over the wood. I feel like it's taken in a lot of that good juju. It folds out, so the whole top actually comes off, and then you can slide it out and it turns into a full-on table, and I can fit like at least 8 people on this thing. And then the photograph is of me. It's our family friend Doug Brown took this photo. All right, welcome to Cantwell's kitchen. So the stripes on my walls came after the orange cabinets. I decided why not take the kitchen all the way, and I was lying in my bed and I was looking out the window on a really blue day, and I thought, oh, how cool would it be if my kitchen was that color? And I had some paints left over and I decided to do some stripes. It kind of makes it look like a little playhouse in here, which I really enjoy. DIY hit hard in the kitchen because I cook every day. Like I cook all my meals if I can, and the kitchen's really small. There's like this much counter space, and it was like not gonna fly. So my proudest DIY is this pull-out extra counter space. It's an old microwave top from a stand that I had from college. And then I used these L brackets, just drilled directly into the wood, and found the studs on my wall to drill these L brackets into. And I was just like, hell yeah, I did this. Like doing DIY projects like that just like gives you a sense of like, yes, I'm a woman. And then I'll show you one more thing that I have for counter space that's been really helpful, which is this piece of wood with a lip that I can put over my sink and have extra. I have this pegboard, which is made from just regular like plywood peg. There's a window seat, which is a piece of foam that I found in Chinatown, and I found a cool piece of fabric, and I just sewed that bad boy on there, and now you got a window seat. So I got a little carried away when I figured out how easy it was to make shelves, and I started putting them everywhere. So you'll notice that there's like a few kind of maybe seemingly awkwardly high shelves. But I did that as a design element, but also so that I could fit more things, because if I put it any lower, I couldn't have opened the cabinet door. Cool, so this is my spill-off kitchen area because I got a tiny kitchen. There's nothing I can do about this fridge being out in the living room, which is mad awkward, but what am I gonna do about it? I had this table from an old place and I matched the yellow from the painting to give it a little oomph. And I use old mason jars because I'm trying to live like a closer to plastic-free lifestyle, and it's also a really beautiful way to display all of my dried goods. I also have this extra shelf, and this is just a design element. Like, there's no reason why that should be that high. I just kind of like it there. What do you think? And that's my Elvis clock. I got it in Graceland. I love him. I grew up loving Elvis Presley, and I was like, let me like show a little bit of my personality in here. And now it's everywhere. It's not like over the top, but there's definitely a lot of Elvis in here. I really love the bedroom. I've grown to love that it doesn't have a window and that it's like kind of small. It's just so cozy in there, and I just like feel like it's like a little hug. And this is where I sleep, so I kept it white so that it would be like nice and serene and quiet in here. One of my old buddies, Roberto Jamora, he made this painting, and it's so beautiful and calming and has that vibe that I want in this bedroom. And I decided to kind of just make it the headboard. There's a lot of items in the house that have dual purposes. Like, this is actually a little bento box that was my grandma's, but it's where I keep all of my jewelry. All these little boxes I'm really using, so they're beautiful, but they also serve a purpose. Yellow was a choice for the door because of a thing that I was learning about at the time called chromotherapy, which is where you can actually use color as therapy and to like affect your mood and to like brighten your spirit. When I see yellow, I feel happy, I feel alive and present and free, and that's why I did this yellow. And you'll notice that that kind of spills off into these affirmations that I post for myself. I change it out every couple of months, but I find that if I read them before I leave the house, it just like puts me in a good space. The frequency of these bowls and a lot of these types of instruments have the ability to just drop you back down into yourself in a way that like just like makes you feel grounded and at ease. I think the best thing that somebody could feel when they walk in here is just like they're taking a big breath. Like that they're welcome, that they can sit down, that I'm here to have full presence with them, and that they're at home. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more handmade home tours just like this.